Hello dear crypto friends and welcome to this video, and today it's time again to talk about our favorite stable coin XRP. Always at 35 cents, the year is 2045, we have bases on the moon and Mars, we have managed to colonize the solar system, we have solved the human aging problem, and XRP at 35 cents. That's right. Just kidding, of course. Just kidding, friends. Disclaimer, I have quite a lot of an XRP holding, so when I make fun of XRP, I'm actually making fun of myself, okay? I'm actually making fun of myself. So let us start with this XRP analysis. We want to find out what XRP is likely going to do. And as you can see, I have already opened something which you will not like. You will not like what I will have to say in this video, friends. You will hate what I have to say in this video, but it has to be, okay? We have to talk about it. So on the right hand side, you can see that I have opened the Bitcoin chart. Why would I have opened the Bitcoin chart? Like, what has XRP to do with Bitcoin? Are you stupid? Why are you comparing XRP to Bitcoin? Well, because I see a fascinating fractal similarity between what XRP is doing now and what Bitcoin did back in 2020. On the right hand side, the 3-day chart of Bitcoin from 2018 to 2020, and on the left hand side we have XRP, what it is currently doing right now. So this here is June 2022 in the weekly chart. And we can see, friends, an eerie similarity. If we identify the peak here on the left with the peak of Bitcoin here on the right, if we identify the low here in XRP with the low of Bitcoin here to the right, if we identify this peak here with this peak, if we identify this low here with what actually? Do we identify with this here, with this low, or with this intermediate low? Now that is an interesting question, isn't it? Because if this here would be this low, then we would recover, we would start rising, and if you see what Bitcoin did afterwards, it actually recovered, made this funny peak here, and then it started going into a rally. Well, does this make sense? That is the question now. Or is it that this actually is this here? What would happen then? Well, of course, this would change the entire picture, because then we would recover to around this level here, right? Then we would dump one more time, basically almost to the same level as in March 2020, because that is actually what Bitcoin did. It went almost to the low of 2018. Then it recovered, as we can see, recovered dramatically, did this funny bounce here, and then actually afterwards started going into the new uptrend. Now, what will actually happen now with XRP? That, of course, friends, depends entirely on what Bitcoin will be doing. Because if we go a bit further to the right here, it is clear that if Bitcoin now recovers and does a V-shaped recovery and continues pumping, right, and makes new all-time highs in a manner that nobody expects, it's clear then that XRP is not going to dump again. That is absolutely out of the question that we then get something like this here, where XRP dumps all the while Bitcoin is pumping. It's out of the question. That cannot happen. This scenario would, of course, then correspond to the scenario that this has actually been the low, that then we would recover, go a bit sideways, and then XRP would go into the next bull phase and make new all-time highs. But of course, if Bitcoin now does something which we all don't like, namely that it bounces now, right? Bounces, makes us all optimistic and hopeful again, goes to 30,000 to 35,000, even maybe goes above this resistance line to make it look convincing that it is going higher, and then bam, it bounces a second time and makes an even lower low than this one here. Of course, then consequently, this would correspond to the scenario that this here has been this one, right? This would correspond to this scenario, because then Bitcoin would bounce. Consequently, of course, XRP would also convincingly bounce, right? Very convincingly. You would say, wow, amazing. Look, guys, it has broken through this logarithmic resistance line. This is amazing. This is going to go so much higher. But wait, friends, wait, because Bitcoin did the same. If you remember, Bitcoin did exactly the same in 2020. This sucker here was so brutal because it went through a brutal logarithmic resistance line and then it still dumped brutally, right? So people would be thinking, wow, this is looking so good, XRP is going to the moon, and then boom, we go again back to 11 cents. We are closing this gap here. We are going back to 11 cents. Everybody is like going completely crazy, freaking out, and then we would recover. And then what would happen afterwards? We would go into a rally, but of course this would then take longer than we would expect, and so we would expect the new XRP hype cycle to begin sometime in late 2024 or 2025, which would of course correspond to the time when there is the next Bitcoin halving. If you are a proponent of the theory that Bitcoin is still dominated by the 4-year halving cycles, and if you think that Bitcoin's price behavior is still largely dominated by the halvings, then you will be of the opinion that in 2024, after the next Bitcoin halving, there will be the next Bitcoin rally. And consequently, this will of course also be the time when all the altcoins will pump. So it would make kind of sense timing wise to say that this actually, where we are now, has not been the final low yet, and that we will recover, make another low in early 2023 when no one thinks it possible. Then we recover, and then only as late as sometime in late 2024, early 2025, we would actually make new all-time highs for XRP, which, if you think about it, if you are very, very brutal and honest to yourself, also makes sense from the timeline of this Ripple lawsuit, because this thing seems to be dragging on like a sucker, and this SEC is just dragging this thing out as long as possible. So we could be looking at timelines here of the resolution of this case earliest in 2023, maybe as late as 2024, and that would of course then be very much in line with what we are thinking now for this whole structure. Now if we go into the XRPBTC chart, let me just remove these drawings here and let me go into the XRPBDC chart, right? Because of course that is a very interesting chart which tells us a lot about XRP's long-term behavior. And we see that XRP has been stuck in a long-term downtrend channel, right? Look at this. This is a logarithmic downtrend channel. It is brutal. It has been going on for a long time, and XRP has retested this channel time and time again. Here and here and here and here, here, even now again. So every time it is pretending to break through, but then it is not breaking through. So that, what would this mean now if Bitcoin would make a rebound, bounce to 35,000, and we said that XRP would probably go above this resistance line, right, to make people optimistic again? What would this mean for XRPBDC, right? If it would go back to the range between $1 and $1.30, right? That would be the range where everybody's optimistic again, and then we would go down again and get this insane dump that nobody would be expecting when Bitcoin, if that is a big if, makes a new low, because that of course only happens when the stock market crashes. So Bitcoin is in turn correlated to the stock market. So this whole scenario only makes sense if we now get a recovery in the stock market. We get a nice dead cat bounce in the stock market. We get a few months now of a relief rally, and then later this year, bam, the stock market drops further. Of course, then this scenario makes sense. If the stock market pumps now and makes new all-time highs, this whole scenario doesn't make a lot of sense. So you see how interconnected everything is. XRP is connected to Bitcoin, Bitcoin is connected to the stock market, and the stock market is connected to what the Fed will be doing, to oil prices, to the 2-year government bond yields, and so on and so forth. Okay, so this is like super interconnected everything. So back to XRPBDC. So this of course would mean if now Bitcoin would go to $35,000, we can make a quick calculation, and XRP would go to between $1 and $1.30. Let's take the best case scenario, $1.30. This would mean that XRPBDC would actually break through this resistance line here, and we could go back to these levels here. And here I identify a super strong resistance line, right? This has been in play. If you say it has retested it 3 times, we could actually break through this lower trend line. We revisit this higher resistance line and bam, then we go back again into this downward channel, and then only afterwards we kind of break out again, and at some point we finally manage to go to the old all-time highs and maybe even go above this all-time high here and make a new high, because after all XRPBDC is in a long-term ascending channel. If you look at it at a long-term perspective, it is actually in a long-term ascending channel. So if we would go now to 0.4037, right, and we said that Bitcoin could, with a bit of luck, rebound to $35,000 to its logarithmic resistance line, then we could be looking at a price of $1.3, right, as an uppercase, as a most optimistic scenario. But of course, it could also happen that XRP just breaks slightly above this channel and then goes back again. This would then correspond to a rebound area of closer to $1, 110, 105. So XRPBDC could make a fool of us, you know, as it so often likes to do, break above this line and then just go back again down here and then afterwards go up. You know, when nobody believes in it anymore. Because after all, let's go back in history, friends. It's not like XRP didn't do this stuff before. It was in a long-term downtrend channel, and if you look at it, this is quite actually fascinating to see. What did it do? Well, it broke above this here. Look here. In October 2016, everybody was probably getting euphoric, like, wow, friends, this is amazing. The XRP rally is starting. Look, it's going up. But no, it faked out. This was a fake out. It went above, and what did it do? Bam, it went below again, and really a lot below this trend line here. And only then, actually in March 2017, did it break through. So half a year later only did it then actually break through, and it went back. So it is not unrealistic to think that XRP will do something similar. It will go above this line here. Everyone is now, wow, this is amazing, wonderful. XRP has finally broken through this long-term resistance. This is wonderful. We are going to this upper trend line. But no, what is XRP, of course, doing? XRP, the old torturer that has tortured us for years now, of course, it goes back now and makes fun of us. And then when nobody believes it possible anymore, like, everyone is like, okay guys, I'm selling my XRP, I don't believe in this coin anymore, then bam, that is when XRP will go crazy for the next hype cycle in 2024. Actually, that was a bit too early. Something like this, it will wobble around a bit more, and then in 2024, 2025, in this hype cycle, in the next one, when Bitcoin makes the new rally after the next halving at the latest, that will be the time when we see new XRPBDC highs going back to these two peaks, even maybe seeing a new all-time high in XRPBDC ratio. That is what really could happen, friends. I'm really sorry to say this. I wish I would have better news, and I'm telling this to you as an XRP holder, okay? So I want to be honest here and don't want to shill, because you have many channels shilling, oh, XRP will go to $5,000 or I don't know, ridiculously high prices. If you just think about it for a second, market cap wise, this doesn't make any sense. XRP cannot go to $5,000 or such prices, because then XRP would have a market cap larger than the market cap of gold or whatever, you know, tens or hundreds of trillions of dollars or whatever. So I don't think this is possible right now, friends, even in the most optimistic case. So such a scenario, we shouldn't discount it, okay? Just because we don't like it, going back just for a second to our comparison with Bitcoin, you know, just because we don't like such a scenario, the similarity is here. Look at it. I mean, the similarity is there. We have to say that this thing here looks really a lot like this low here, because actually this here is the trend line, and it did the same for Bitcoin. It was going back to this support line, which has been in Bitcoin case at around $6,500, and here it's at the famous 35-cent level, where XRP is always going back to the freaking damn 35-cent level, which we all cannot see anymore because it just keeps going back there, right? We cannot see anymore. years 2045, XRP still at 35 cents. We just cannot stand this level anymore. So what is XRP maybe going to do? And as I said, this is just a theory, friends. It goes back, makes us optimistic, and bam, goes back and closes the gap here to this 11-cent low in 2020. And then when everybody thinks that's it, game over, that's when actually the real next bull move will start, and when we go into the next cycle, and then we actually make the real all-time highs in 2024 or even as late as 2025. Because let us not forget, friends, that if we look at the long-term Bitcoin trend channel, and I have now switched to use the more pessimistic long-term channel, we are not out of the woods yet. And Bitcoin could just bounce now, bounce convincingly to 35,000, and bam, makes a new low actually, because the lower trend line of this long-term channel is still, even as late as November this year, at 15,900. And even as late as, I don't know, February 2023 at 17,000. So this could still drag on for quite a while until we manage to finally break through this logarithmic downtrend channel, because Bitcoin, if we look at it historically, has done actually the same. Here in 2018, we had a logarithmic downtrend channel, and it actually retested this channel quite a few times. Or famously from 2013 until 2015, it has retested this channel famously many times, right? And it took quite a while to break through this logarithmic downtrend channel. So it is quite likely, in my opinion, that Bitcoin could do the same. Of course, only if the stock market does a second dump. And if we look again last time at the S&P 500, then of course this theory only makes sense if this thing here is now a dead cat bounce and we actually go lower. That is of course clear. If now for whatever reason, like wow, good news, China situation resolved, war in Ukraine is over, then friends, of course we make new all-time highs directly, and then that of course means that this theory is void and Bitcoin makes new all-time highs already in 2023, and of course then XRP consequently doesn't do this insane scenario, right? For that case, let's be clear, friends, then XRP doesn't do this scenario, but then in that case, of course, this has been the low and XRP will also start pumping at some point directly, right? That is pretty clear. So it will depend a lot on the stock market, on the entire world economic situation, but we should keep in mind that this ugly scenario is a real possibility if there will be another dump in the stock market and another low in Bitcoin. That is my current picture for XRP, friends. I wish I had better news, but we should be realistic and we should be open for any possible scenario because it's all interlinked. XRP to BTC, BTC to the stock market to commodity prices, to the Fed tightening, to government bond yields, to the dollar index. Everything is interlinked. We always have to see the big picture, friends. We always have to keep realistic and see the big picture. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you found it interesting. If you did, please like and subscribe. I would be happy to welcome you in this small and illustrious round of cool and awesome people who are daily joining this channel. Friends, I would be happy to welcome you and see you in the next update video tomorrow, because I'm doing daily crypto updates. See you tomorrow, friends. Bye.